Welcome to our grandma's diary. Please subscribe and let's dive in. Have you ever been told you're not family? By your own son, while his wife was in labor. I'm Margaret, and I raised my boy for 32 years alone after his father walked out. I worked 3 jobs to put him through college. I never missed a single one of his basketball games. And on the most important day of his life, he looked me in the eyes and said those 5 words that shattered everything. She only wants family here. But what happened 3 weeks later? They never saw it coming. The call came at 2:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. I remember because I was up anyway, knitting a baby blanket in soft yellow yarn. My hands were shaking as I answered. Mom. It was Derek, my son. His voice was tight with panic. Vanessa's water broke. We're heading to the hospital. Can you? I'm already getting dressed, I said, my heart soaring. This was it. My first grandchild. The moment I'd been waiting for since Derek announced the pregnancy 8 months ago. I threw on clothes, grabbed the emergency bag I'd packed weeks earlier, and drove the 45 minutes to Memorial Hospital faster than I probably should have. The whole way my mind raced with joy. Be there. I'd see my grandson take his first breath. I'd hold Vanessa's hand if she needed me, just like I'd wished someone had held mine when Derek was born. The hospital parking lot was nearly empty at 3:30 a.m. I rushed through the sliding doors, asked for Vanessa's room, and practically ran to the maternity ward. That's when everything fell apart. I found Derek standing outside room 304, looking exhausted and stressed. When he saw me, something flickered across his face. Was it annoyance? Mom, what are you doing here? The question hit me like a physical blow. What do you mean? You called me. I'm here for the birth of my grandson. Derek glanced back at the door, then stepped closer, lowering his voice. Look, Vanessa's really stressed right now. She has a very specific birth plan and... I know, honey. I won't get in the way. I just want to be here for you both. That's the thing. He couldn't meet my eyes. Her mom is already in there. Her sister's on the way. And Vanessa feels like she only wants family in the room right now. The hallway tilted. I'm sorry, what? Mom, don't make this harder than it already is. Derek. My voice cracked. I'm your mother. I'm family. I'm this baby's grandmother. You know what I mean. Or family. Blood family. It's already crowded in there and her sister who she talks to twice a year is more family than me? The words came out sharper than I intended. I raised you alone, Derek. I sacrificed everything for you. And now I'm not family enough to meet my own grandson. His jaw tightened and I saw it. That's when I realized this wasn't just about Vanessa's birth plan. This was something else. Something that had been building. Maybe that's the problem, Mom, he said quietly. You sacrificed everything. You remind me every chance you get. Vanessa's family, they don't make everything about them. They don't need constant acknowledgement for being parents. They just love and support without expecting a medal for it. I felt like he'd driven a knife into my chest and twisted. Get out, Mom. Please. Just go home. We'll call you when the baby's born. I stood there for a long moment, tears streaming down my face, as my son turned his back on me and walked into that room. The door closed with a soft click that echoed like a gunshot. I don't remember driving home. I remember sitting in my car in the hospital parking lot for 20 minutes, sobbing so hard I couldn't see. I remember the security guard knocking on my window asking if I was okay. I wasn't okay. When I got home, I sat in the nursery I'd spent weeks preparing. The crib I'd assembled. The mobile I'd hung. The rocking chair I'd refinished. The walls I'd painted a soft sage green. And I realized something crushing. Maybe Derek was right. Maybe I had made it all about me. Every sacrifice I'd made, I'd mentioned. Every hardship I'd shared. I thought I was teaching him gratitude, showing him the value of hard work and dedication. But maybe I'd just been keeping score. At 9:17 a.m. I got a text message. It's a boy. 7 pounds 3 ounces. James Derek Mitchell. Everyone is healthy. Not even a photo. Just a text. For 3 weeks I heard nothing. No calls. No visits. No photos except the ones Vanessa posted on Facebook that her friends could see, but apparently I couldn't. I only found out because my neighbor showed me on her phone. I sent a gift basket. It was left on their porch for 2 days before they brought it in. Called. Derek answered once and said they were adjusting and would reach out when they were ready for visitors. I was dying inside. My first grandchild was 3 weeks old, and I hadn't even seen his face except in those Facebook photos I had to view on someone else's phone. That's when I made the decision that would change everything. I called my friend Patricia, a real estate agent. I need to sell my house, I told her. Margaret, are you sure? You've lived there for 30 years. I'm sure. I also called my old colleague Richard, who'd moved to Oregon 5 years ago and kept telling me about the amazing community theater group there, the hiking trails, the fresh start he'd found. Is that property management job still available? Asked him. For you. Always. But Margaret, what's going on? I'm choosing me, I said. For the first time in 33 years, I'm choosing me. 3 days later, at 11 p.m. my phone rang. Derek. Mom. His voice was wrecked, desperate. Mom, we need you. Please. James won't stop crying. He's been screaming for 6 hours. Vanessa's having a breakdown. Her mom left yesterday. Her sister's useless. The doctor says he's fine but he won't stop and we don't know what to do and... Take a breath, Derek. Can you come? Please. Sorry. I'm so sorry about everything. We need you. Need you. Please, Mom. This was it. The moment every hurt, angry, rejected part of me had been waiting for. They needed me. They were begging. I could make them understand how they'd made me feel. Mom. Are you there? I thought about the woman I'd been. The one who kept score. The one who used her sacrifices as currency. The one who had, without meaning to, turned love into debt. And I thought about the woman I wanted to be. I'll be there in 45 minutes, I said. Put him in a warm bath, skin to skin with Vanessa. Sometimes the water helps. I'm on my way. When I arrived, the house was chaos. Vanessa was sobbing on the couch. Derek looked like he hadn't slept in days. And from the nursery came the most heartbreaking screams I'd ever heard. I didn't say, I told you so. I didn't mention how they'd treated me. I didn't keep score. I just held my grandson. It took me 15 minutes to figure out what the doctors had missed. James had a tongue tie that made nursing painful, so he was hungry and frustrated. 20 minutes later, we were at the emergency room. An hour after that, a simple procedure fixed it. By 3 a.m., James was nursing peacefully, and everyone was finally resting. Derek found me in the kitchen making tea. Mom, don't, I said gently. Not now. Just rest. But I need to say it. What I said at the hospital, it was true, I finished. Some of it was true, Derek. I did make everything about my sacrifices. I did keep score. I thought I was teaching you to appreciate things, but I was really just, I don't know, proving something to myself, maybe. He sank into a chair, tears streaming down his face. You're the best mother I could have asked for. You gave me everything. And I threw you away when you needed me most. You were protecting your wife. Your new family. That's what you're supposed to do. You're my family too. I know. But I'm learning that being family doesn't mean keeping tabs on who owes who. It means showing up without expecting applause. It means loving without keeping receipts. We sat in silence for a moment. Mom, where were you going to go? Smiled. Oregon. I sold the house. I have a job waiting for me in Portland. Fresh start. His face went white. What? Well, you can't. Derek, I'm not doing this to punish you. I'm doing it because I need to learn who I am when I'm not defined by being your mother. I love you more than life itself. But I think I need to find Margaret again. The woman I was before I became mom. Don't go, Vanessa said from the doorway. She looked exhausted, holding James against her chest. Please. I'm so sorry. What I said, what Derek said for me, it was horrible. I was scared and anxious and I took it out on you. But these past 3 weeks without you, Derek's been miserable. And watching you tonight, the way you just knew what to do, the way you loved James without any hesitation after how we treated you. I've never seen anything like it. She started crying. My mom left after 4 days. Said she'd done her duty. My sister showed up for Instagram photos and left. But you came when we called. Even after everything. That's what mothers do, I said simply. Is it? Because mine didn't. Not really. She was there but she wasn't there, you know? But you are. You really are. James made a small sound, and Vanessa looked down at him with such overwhelming love that my heart ached. I want him to know you, she whispered. Really know you. Not the grandma who visits twice a year. I want him to have what I didn't have. A grandmother who shows up. Who loves without conditions. Who? She looked up at me. Who's you? I wish I could tell you I cancelled my plans. That we all hugged and cried and everything went back to normal. But that's not what happened. I went to Oregon. Took the job. I moved into a small apartment overlooking a river. I joined that community theater group. I made new friends who knew me as Margaret, not as Derek's mom or James's grandmother. I learned to paint. I went on dates. Terrible, wonderful, awkward dates. I discovered I loved hiking more than I ever knew. I found out who I was when I wasn't keeping score. But every month I flew back for a long weekend. And those weekends were magic. Pure, uncomplicated magic. I held James. I taught him to clap. I watched him take his first steps. I didn't do it because I sacrificed everything. I didn't do it because they owed me. I did it because I wanted to. 'Cause I chose to. And Derek and Vanessa flew out to visit me too. They saw my new life. They met my friends. They watched me perform in a production of Steel Magnolias. They saw the hiking photos I posted, the painting class certificates, the evidence of a woman who was finally fully alive. I'm proud of you, Mom, Derek said on one of those visits, as we watched James play in a Portland park. I know that sounds backwards. The son being proud of his mother for living her life. But I am. I'm proud of me too, I said. And I meant it. See, here's what I learned that night in the hospital parking lot, crying so hard I couldn't breathe. Being excluded didn't make me less valuable. Being rejected didn't mean I was worthless. It meant I'd been playing a game nobody asked me to play. The game of martyrdom, of scorekeeping, of turning love into debt. When Derek said, she only wants family here, and didn't include me in that definition, it broke something in me. But it also freed something. I'm family. Always will be. But I'm also Margaret. And Margaret deserves a life that isn't defined solely by the people she's given life to. Now when I hold James, my beautiful perfect grandson, I do it with open hands. I love him fiercely, completely, but not desperately. I show up not because I need to prove anything but because I choose to. 'Cause I want to. And that, I've discovered, is the difference between obligation and love. Last month, James said his first word. Want to know what it was? Gamma. Derek sent me a video. I watched it 12 times, crying happy tears. Not because I'd earned it through sacrifice. Not because they finally recognized everything I'd given up. But because that little boy, in his own time, in his own way, chose to call for me. And I chose to answer. Not as a martyr. Not as a scorekeeper. But as a grandmother who finally learned that the greatest gift I could give my family wasn't my sacrifice. It was my joy. If you've ever felt taken for granted by the people you love most, if you've ever kept score in relationships, if you've ever lost yourself in being there for everyone else, see you. Your worth isn't measured in what you give up. It's measured in who you are when you give yourself permission to also choose you. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is set yourself free. And sometimes, just sometimes, everyone finds their way back to each other. Not out of obligation but out of choice. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, hit that subscribe button and share your own story in the comments below. Have you ever had to choose yourself? I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, remember. You are enough. Exactly as you are. Without keeping score. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment for next video.